So for this back deck, we're just going to kind of go back with what they had. They had some more of this notched aluminum. This stuff's actually pretty cool. I haven't seen it anywhere for sale. Doesn't mean that it's not available anymore. If somebody has seen it, holler at me and let me know. I think it's pretty cool stuff. I haven't seen it on online metals. Surely to God, somebody didn't go through and home make this. But it just makes it to where it's a little bit easier to bend, to attach stuff. But anyhow, this is what they had. I've already got this one attached. I riveted it to the bench right here. Once I got this one on, I went ahead and run a 4-foot level across this black piece and made sure that it was level, and went ahead and put some screws into the transom. So now I just need to do the other side and we'll be done with the framing. I mean, that's pretty easy. It helps when someone did most of the hard work for you. Alright, just for a little bit of extra support, I come in here and slid me a little piece of angle and rivet it to the bench seat. I used this piece of scrap for a template. Got it where it needed to be. I ain't really doing much, but like I said earlier, helps me sleep better at night. So we're gonna go with that. Got one on each side, and now what we need to do is make us some kind of template out of cardboard. And we're not gonna bring this all the way to here, because that's not going to give us enough room to put a gas tank in here. If somebody wants to put a battery in here, we need room for that and a gas tank. And I really need to measure this thing. It might have to take a small gas tank with this brace in the way. But anyhow, if we cover it up, we won't be able to get a gas tank in here. So I'm going to kind of come out with like a little L. I think will be fine. I mean, you don't want to make it too far past this. That way somebody will step and bend it all to crap. I mean, either way, but you do want to come past your angle a little bit, I do believe. It'd be nice to have a hatch back here, which someone could add at a later date. So we'll leave it to where they can do that. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get us a piece of cardboard cut. And then we can go ahead and hopefully I got the aluminum to do this. I think I got enough scrap aluminum to make these two pieces. I got me a template cut out of cardboard. That's that cardboard I was using when I was messing around with paint colors on this boat. And it's going to work. I made one little boo-boo and cut it a little bit short on this side. So when I lay this on the aluminum, I'll just add 3/4 of an inch to hide that. And that won't give us too much overhang to make it sag or anything. And as you can see, we have a 6-gallon fuel cell in here. And it is going to fit. But it is tight. I'm talking about tighter than turtle poo nanny. And that is watertight. But it's going to work. So that's a good thing. And also, this template is exactly the same on the other side. It's going to work. And I probably used up all my luck of the year on that right there. So, alright, let's go ahead and cut some aluminum. I got my pieces cut. And they look pretty good. Both sides. All I need to do now is put me a few countersink rivets in here, hold it all in place, and we'll be done with this back deck. Alright, that was my last countersink rivet for 1/8 inch, and I need 1, 2, 3 more. So go ahead and order another pack of those, but it's pretty much done back here. I mean, that won't take me. I already have them drilled out and countersunk, so it won't take me but a minute or two to knock those out. It just kind of sucks because I can't do the hydro turf until I get these in. This side's completely done. Everything's pretty sturdy. I mean, it's not like, we got crazy with a back deck. It just gives you a little extra spot to put something, maybe the butt of your rod or something, without it having to fall down in this hole. I mean, yeah, you could step here with no problems. I wouldn't be jumping up and down on it, but And we got just enough room to get our gas tank in and out, and plenty of room for a battery back here. So we'll call this done, other than our few rivets we like, but I mean, that ain't gonna hold us up. So, all right, on to the gun box. Well, it's time to fool with this gun box. Now, if you recall, I did a gun box in the little skiff I did earlier this year, and it was went pretty smooth. I think it turned out pretty nice for just something that you threw together, you know, in your house. I used a couple road signs and some angle aluminum, and it came out pretty nice. Now, this boat I'm going to have a little issue with. See, I have a 12 gauge 870 right here, and it don't fit between the benches. The skiff, I had no problem. It was just a bigger gap between the two benches. This one isn't going to go as smooth. And actually, what I'd like to do, this is just a cheap shotgun case like a Allen. I'd like to be able to fit a couple of these in there. So what I plan on doing is just going in here and cutting out a hole and wallering out the foam that we have in there. I know it would have been a lot easier to do this before I put this piece on, when I had access to all this foam. You know, I put the foam back in, but I wanted to do this all as one video and have it, well, like, you know, most people ain't going to get a boat that's got a gaping hole right here that can access all this foam. So I'd like to do it in the mindset of anybody that has a boat that wants to do a gun box. Now, what helps me out on this little project immensely, it doesn't have me too worried about doing this extra work, is Nate Eckold reached out to me. A lot of you guys might have run across his name at tinyboatnation.net, tbnation.net. I'll put a link down below for that too. He is the one that does the deck lids, the really nice custom deck lids that they sell on their website. So, huge shout out to him and tinyboatnation.net. But he hollered at me and said that, you know, if ever wanted to collab, holler at him. And I told him, well, you know, I want to do a gun box on this boat. And he said, well, send me the dimensions. I might have one laying around. I did so, and it was less than a week. He sent me a couple packages, which I have yet to open, and been chomping at the bit to see what all is in there. And I wanted to wait to do that for this video too. So let's see what Nate sent us. Alright, here we go. This is one of two packages that he sent me. Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh. Sharper. No. Really? Oh my gosh. He spared no expense on tape. Oh my gosh. Could have got a sharper freaking knife. And we got more tape. And more tape. Man. This is going to be a lot of editing on opening this box. Oh my gosh. Alright, we got some more tape. Ooh, Nate. Okay, so we've got 3 boxes here. Save them for a second. Let's go ahead and try and get this off. Pretty sure this is the lid. All right. Finally, we get into the meat of it. Now that is nice. Flush mount aluminum. I think he uses 125 gauge aluminum on his lids. Riveted in. Heavy duty piano hinge. That is super nice. And it's got a lip. You guys can see that. The inside has a lip to it, so water isn't going to pour in. And actually, we have a drain on this side. I saw this tubing. I was wondering what it was about. The tubing actually goes to the lid. Apparently, that way you got a little drain. So, very cool. On my first gun box that I did, I stressed that it was not a watertight box. This will be a lot more of a watertight box than my first build. So, there's that. And it's going to fit in there almost freaking perfect. That is going to be almost perfect, for real. Like, a lot better than I had hoped for. Alright, set this right here. So this is our drain hose. Supposing we can channel back down towards the bottom of the boat. That way if you get any kind of rain in there, it should go to the bottom of the boat and you can get it out. All right. Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors hoodie. Products built for fishermen by fishermen. I have to keep this away from Amanda. She'd be trying to steal my stuff all the time when it comes to hoodies. And in here, oh man, hit the mother load on decals. That's awesome. If you know me, you know that I am a sucker for stickers. It's very cool. One of my toolbox, and shoot, the back of my personal boat has stickers all over it. My coolers, that's very, very cool too. We'll use every one of these. I've got one more box. Pretty sure I know what this is, which I was also not expecting, but he told me that he was sending this, which is very cool. Yeah. We have some angle, a whole bunch of rivets. Looks like 3/16 rivets. So we are pretty much ready to rock and roll. Very, very cool of him to reach out and do this. This is going to help me immensely on this build. I'm basically out of aluminum now that I've done this. So it would have been really tough for me to do a gun box had he not reached out and hooked me up. I'm very, very, very appreciative, Nate. It's very awesome. I don't ask y'all guys too much. I don't even ask you to subscribe to my channel. But please go check him out and check out tinyboatnation.net and give them a follow. It's very, very cool. If you need anything, and I was actually very impressed the other day. I was thinking about getting an outboard, and I just did a Google search for like a Suzuki 15 horsepower, and lo and behold, one of the very top things that popped up was Tiny Boat Nation. They sell outboards on there. So it's not just boat build kits anymore. They have a very, very huge selection. Anything you need for your project boat, I'm willing to guarantee they have on there. So please check them out. Please check out Nate, his channel. I'll leave this. He gave me all his Facebook information, Instagram. I'll leave all them links down below. So now I don't have any excuses. I gotta get to work. So let's do it. God, I gotta clean up this mess. I need to have a bonfire. I can't even get out my garage. I figured it'd be a lot easier to go ahead and cut this hole out before I started framing this stuff up. So that's what I did. I just took an angle grinder and cut me out a little trapezoid, if you will. And I dug all the foam out that I could. It looks fairly clean. I'll probably go in with a piece of foam on that back wall before everything is said and done. And probably, like I said before, I'm gonna have to attach these pieces of foam that I put front and back. I'm holding off on that until I get all the electrical done, because I'm probably gonna have to be cutting some holes in it for the switch panel. As you can see, we can put a gun and a gun case in here now. And I mean, we have plenty of room for two. So All right, now let's clean this mess y'all made and go ahead and start on framing this gun box. All right, so this video won't be 3 hours long. I'm just gonna kind of do some crap at a time and then fill you guys in on what I did. So the way I started was with the angle that Nate sent me on each side, and I used this piece as like a gauge because it's about the same thickness as this. So I want this lip to go even with the seats. I know this seat is a little bit higher than this one because of that piece of metal we put on, but I mean, you're talking about less than 1/8 of an inch, so it should be fine. But anyways, I use this and like some levels to figure out where to put these. As you can see, it's got a little gap to it. You put this directly on the seat, drop it down, that way this lip will flow right into these tops. All right, after I did that, I went ahead and put me a piece down here. I drew me level lines all the way down and across to make sure everything's going to be pretty square. I attached it to the braces, and then I put 2 more on each side, so that is like super stout. I'm doing all this with 3/16 rivets. I'm using some that Nate sent me, and also just some that I picked up from somewhere. I think I got these from Harbor Freight. And then after I got all this attached pretty stout, I cut me a piece right here. I actually cut it all the way across, but decided to cut it down. Basically what I did is I put the lid up here and I crawled into the boat and made me some marks. Is this lid has this piece right here, and I marked it where it was going to be, and then I cut this piece of angle and then I notched it all the way down. As you can see, like every 2 inches put a notch, and that way I was able to bend it down, because I mean, if you put it up there square, I mean, it's going to be pitched up high because this is at an angle. So you notch it, that way you can bend it down to where it's level, and this will be a good spot because it's tied into these braces to give us some support on this back side. So now that we have most of the framing put in, you can kind of see what we're working with here. I mean, everything is looking like it's going to be pretty good. You do see I got a little gap right here on each side, which I'll probably just fill in with some scrap on this end, and I don't know, I might on this end. I'm not exactly sure yet. It's not that big of a deal. Like I said earlier, now we are going to be able to flow straight from the lid into the seats. Like, this is all going to be high throw turf, like a big C. So these won't be that big of a deal, but I don't want it to be like a crease over time, so I probably will go in with something, just try to fill this gap. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but as of right now, everything's going pretty good. What I think I'm going to do is get a piece of angle and actually attach to the lid right here. That'll give us a good front plate for this, and then we can go in with a couple little studs on each side, and I think the framing of this will be done. So, all right, I'll go ahead and knock those couple things out and bring you guys back when I'm done. Well, all right, we got it pretty much in place. I went in this piece right here and I notched it. If you remember, these 2 pieces right here on the sides were full, so I notched it so it kind of go in front of those, kind of cover up the gap. And I attached this one to the lid itself and put it up there, and then kind of halfway found center, and then cut me some studs and little side pieces, and everything is pretty much done except for attaching the lid to these pieces of angle we have here. And we'll go ahead and knock that out, and we'll pretty much be done with this, other than putting on the front face of it. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, there we go. It is complete, or at least as complete as it's going to get today. I had to 2-piece this front part, the face of it, because I didn't have a piece of aluminum long enough. In a perfect world, it'd be better to go ahead and do 1 piece across the front. But I'm probably going to put some silicone. I'm probably going to go over this whole thing with a bead of silicone. And not that this is going to be 100% watertight, but that'll help it out a lot. Just putting a little bit of silicone all the way around it before we paint it. All the joints and stuff. Plus, it'll kind of help, level everything out too. Very pleased with how it turned out. I had to use a street sign, as you see, for the face. It's very, very stout. We have the little drain here, and I was able to kind of snake it around into the bottom of the boat. That way any water will go down there and eventually end up the back of the boat. Lid fits great. It's super, super stout. I mean, it's just a stout, probably stouter than these freaking benches because of the abuse they've had over the years. But that is it. I did a little pinch mold around that part. I'm probably going to put some HydroTurf inside that little nook that we made for the guns, and of course this will be HydroTurf as well. As you guys can see, the soft gun case, no problem slipping a gun in there. Plenty of room. Like I said, you could easily put 2 stacked on top of each other. So that worked out great. Alright, that is going to conclude this video. I really wish I was hunting today, but I don't know if you can hear in the background, but we got a lot of rain. Crappy rainy day. But it worked out good because I was able to knock that gun box out, and it actually went a lot easier than I thought. I thought it was going to take me a couple of days. I'm not exactly sure what time. I think it was like 12:30. I started messing with that thing around 8:30. So Nate really helped out immensely with this project. I mean, like I said, I'm out of street signs and the scrap sheet metal that I had, sheet aluminum. So there's no way I could have done this without going out and buying some aluminum. So very, very appreciative of him. Please go and check out all the links down below. tinyboat.net. Check out Nate's YouTube channel. Check out his Facebook. If you're on Instagram, he's on both of those. I'll leave all them links down below. Huge help to this project. Like I said, I don't know what I would have done. probably ended up not putting a gun box in, to be honest with you guys. So really ties in with the duck hunting boat build, and saved me a ton of money and a ton of time, and time is money. All right, next up, I think we're going to start working on the electrical stuff. I think I have most of it ordered. I think it would be a smart idea to go ahead and do all that before doing the HydroTurf. And we'll start wrapping this thing up. I'd like to do a duck blind. I've talked to a couple people, I think on Instagram, that have done duck blinds, you know, homemade. And I'd like to do that on this boat too, something I've never done before. So look forward to fooling with something new. It's really starting to come together now. And once you get the paint and the floors, everything kind of starts going downhill on these boat builds. So we are coasting now. Once again, huge shout out to tinyboat.net, Nate, and all the stuff he sent me. It really helped. I mean, everything was top notch. I mean, awesome stuff. And look forward to working with them guys in the future. Do me a big favor and go down and check out all their stuff. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.